Hello, everyone. Welcome to a special edition of the Captain Logan Show. It is I, Captain Logan, and joining me tonight, as always, is my chat moderator and my son, my co-host. I'll come up with some other monikers. It's Jason. Hello, Jason.
Hi.
So it's nice to see you, folks. Thanks a bunch for being here. Tomorrow is Thanksgiving, and we thought we would do a special Thanksgiving Eve show. Have we ever done this before? Have we ever done, I mean, you know, the channel 15 years, I don't even remember if we've done Thanksgiving shows before. We probably have.
Yeah, I don't remember you doing one.
But you don't remember when, or what it was, or who it was with?
I don't remember you doing one, but I could have. I don't know, when I wasn't really on the channel as much, you could have.
This is real impromptu and kind of random. Jason and I were, of course, I'm on a short hiatus, so naturally I just can't stay away. And Jason and I were in the car earlier coming back from a concert. We went to a jazz show tonight, which was really fun. And we were thinking about things to do late tonight, not super late, because we gotta get up for Thanksgiving tomorrow, but I was like, well, we've got some stuff we need to watch. We gotta get caught up on Penguin. We're gonna try to do a Penguin review for you next month, folks. We're gonna work on trying to get caught up on that this weekend, but we were thinking maybe we could knock one of those out, and then I just kind of offhandedly said, maybe we can do a stream. Maybe we can do like a, tomorrow's Thanksgiving, we do a silly Thanksgiving Eve stream. And then Jason immediately, without skipping a beat, came up with this idea. And I was like, sure, let's do this. So on the day we usually do the Captain Logan show, didn't have one planned. We were actually arriving to do a Captain Logan show exactly 2.5 hours late. So, welcome everybody. We didn't tell you we were going to spring this on you, so here it is. And if you're watching live right now, we really appreciate you popping in and hanging out with us. This will be, I mean, this show is always laid back, but this will be really laid back. We have next to no plan. What we wanted to do tonight was, this is Jason's idea, was talk about kind of geeky things we're thankful for, which is sort of the most obvious thing we can do, but I immediately started overthinking it, which made me think we should do it. And Jason goes, well, it could be, like, it sounded like a really convoluted notion, because he was like, it should be your favorite geeky things that you're thankful for, and I was like, those sound like two completely different, unrelated things. I don't even know what that is. So what I'm thinking this is, and even in the comments Jason wrote, from your question is, what's your favorite? I'm not even agreeing with the premise of this. What I thought would be interesting to do with this would be to pick categories of geekdom, like mediums, or like creators of things, or like types of collectibles, or whatever it is in superhero stuff, gaming, sci-fi, movies, television, anything, and pick things that you're thankful happened, that exist. And they might end up being formative things that are your favorite things that happen, and some of them might be things that you're really glad happened, because if not for that, you wouldn't have the rest of this, so I don't know if the thankful question always ends up being your absolute favorite thing. It might be. Oh, Austin, I'm so glad you're here. Anyway, so if you're so inclined, leave a question tonight, either as a super chat or a regular question, and Jason will get to probably all of them this evening, because I don't expect this to have a big crowd, and we should be able to get to everything. So if you have an idea for this, and you can also ask other things too. We can be real loose and open tonight and talk about whatever comes up. But Jason, why don't we and I'm putting you on the spot. I'm putting myself on the spot.
Yes.
Why don't we create examples for this so people kind of know where we're going with it?
Sure.
And I mean, I've kind of changed the thing on you. Like, I don't even know if you know where I'm going with it, because you said favorite. I think
it's
thankful for is kind of more interesting, actually.
I think these can be interchangeable.
Yeah, but I don't think they are necessarily.
Yeah, but thankful for is more complicated, so that's why I just said for people, like,
oh, sure.
If you're wanting to ask,
but we can break it
this
down
category,
that way.
we can say, that is what we're,
Yeah,
thankful
sure.
for, but
sure. Let's really overly complicate it. Nicholas Bodo, happy U.S. Thanksgiving. Yeah, we have to kind of put in that caveat, because of course we have folks like Austin from other countries that either celebrate a different Thanksgiving or don't celebrate Thanksgiving at all. So Austin's was last month because he's in Canada. So for Austin, that is real Thanksgiving, and he always says that every year. He's like, oh, why can't you work on Thanksgiving? That's not real Thanksgiving. And then you have folks like in the UK that just don't celebrate Thanksgiving at all.
Right.
I was watching a stream from in an older YouTuber that I like named the Sand Scratcher. He started doing streams on Wednesdays. A quick plug for him. I've been communicating with him a little bit. He's a really neat guy. He does kind of inspirational videos with like life advice, and he also sometimes talks about media. So I found him because he was talking about like his record collection and his DVD and Blu-ray collection and that kind of stuff. But then he started making more videos, like kind of inspirational videos, and they're actually really good and really thoughtful, and he's this older guy with a lot of life wisdom, and so he's fun to listen to. But anyway, he was talking this morning about how he kind of wishes that they had something like Thanksgiving in the UK, because all they really have is Christmas, and he feels like families don't have enough of an excuse to get together, to like all travel and come together as often, because all they have is Christmas.
okay. Yeah.
So I hadn't really thought about that before, but I mean, I guess that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because, there wasn't really anybody for them to break away from.
Right. That's a good point.
Historically.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, so let's come up with one for each of us, Jason.
Okay.
Do you want to go first, or do you want me to come up with one?
So, are you wanting me to pick a category where you can think of multiple things?
No, it doesn't matter.
It
really doesn't. Just a category where I can where we can each kind of noodle it and go, what is a thing in that category that we're most glad happened.
That we're most glad had.
Yeah.
Or that we're most glad exists.
Yeah.
Sure.
Exactly.
Okay.
Hi guys, good to see everybody in the comments there. There's Dan Schneider, there's Nicholas Bodo, Alex Barron, Cinematographic. Good to see you guys. Chewbacca's lover, anime fan. Hi guys.
Yeah, I mean, I can start. I can go with
do it.
Kind of an
Throw
example.
out a thing. Yeah.
More of an example, more of an obvious one. What is a video game platformer you were most thankful of?
Yeah, because like again, like my favorite is always kind of a double or triple tie. So it's like I always go to Donkey Kong Country. I always go to the Sonic franchise, either Sonic 2 or 3 and Knuckles. The game, Mario World. But I think the one I would have to say I'm most thankful for is and this is maybe obvious, is just Super Mario Brothers. This is the original Mario Brothers game on NES, because that is the foundation for all of that, and if you don't have that, you don't have any of the rest of it.
Okay.
It would also be easy to always go back to the first most important one, but I wouldn't always do that. With this specifically, that's also a game that I put a ridiculous number of hours in as a kid, and so most thankful for that, because I probably appreciate all of those other platformers in a way that I wouldn't if I wasn't already so enamored with and into that game. Like that was so you need that to get to all of the other ones, but I personally needed it to get to all the other ones.
Sure.
What would it be for you?
It's Mario 64.
Sure.
And I mean, that's kind of an obvious one, right? I mean, so many like 3D games in wide scape, that's like not even platformers, just wouldn't exist if it weren't for Mario 64.
Sure.
I think Mario 64 was very groundbreaking for its time, and is a crazy, like, it's crazy that it still holds up.
Well, I think that was also a really important bridging point for 2D to 3D in general.
Yes.
Like, for every genre, really. And so, like, for those of us that were there, that was kind of baby's first 3D game. Like, and that's not a knock against that. It's like you said, it holds up. It's still a lot of fun to go back and play now. But that game, that opened up everybody's eyes to the possibilities. Mm-hmm. That created, it really like sparked everybody's imagination about where things could potentially go from there.
Yeah.
And made us all believe that maybe it was not the wrong decision to go ahead and go mostly to 3D at that point, because there are lots of really great 2D things being made these days, but for a long time it was sort of the 3D animation versus the 2D animation thing, where we went, well, now we have this thing that's bigger, better, looks more futuristic and sophisticated, and so we're throwing all of our eggs in that basket. And we kind of never thought we would see another 2D platformer again once the Super Nintendo stopped making them.
That's not entirely true. I think
you weren't there. That's what it felt like.
Sure, but I think that goes for 2D platformer on a mainline console. Like that didn't happen for the longest time.
No, that's true, but when Mario 64 first dropped, and I know it was a few years before all of those consoles were done and we moved on to exclusively 3D consoles, but
I mean handhelds.
Oh, sure. Yeah, that's true.
Like,
that's true, and I wasn't in the handheld scene. That's a good point. Yeah. But I was just saying, for consoles, it really felt like we're done with 2D.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. What's yours?
What would you say, Jason, is the since you started with video games, I'm going to keep this in kind of your arena.
Oh.
And I'll say, what would you say is the album?
The album.
Let's just say rock. What is the rock album that you would say you're most thankful for?
For existing?
Yeah. It's like formative for your taste, that like.
For me specifically,
yeah.
It's gonna. Wow.
While you're thinking, let me read this comment.
Yeah.
Austin says Crash Bandicoot 4 is probably the platformer he's most thankful for. He says not just the best one in a long time, but if they make 5, I doubt it'll be as big or hard as that.
Yeah. So
everyone's laughing at that wording because we're all children, I guess.
Yeah, I would say probably
greetings, children. Thank you for being here.
I would probably say Offspring Smash.
Oh, sure.
Is very. I mean, I listen to that a lot.
That'd be real up there for me.
And then also this is probably...
We need to do a best albums and best song list at some point.
Yeah.
Austin has been begging me for months now for the three of us to get together and do a like top 10 favorite songs of all time list.
Wow.
Which just sounds friggin' hard.
Yeah, you have to limit it to one per album.
One per band, I'd say.
I mean, sorry, not one per band.
Yeah.
Slash artist.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would think so too. I think that is the rule.
Now we'll have to talk about it a bit, but
yeah, we're definitely going to do that. Anyway, I'm sorry. Smash is a great answer.
Yeah. Another one that I'm very thankful for in the rock category is Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band.
Sure.
And I mean, if we're going for classic rock, the Led Zeppelin 2 and Dark Side of the Moon are very good albums, and Self-Titled by Dire Straits.
Yeah, I think the album that I'd say I'm most thankful for, and you might roll your eyes at this, and you probably won't be surprised when I say this, but and there's a few different things I could say in different subgenres, but I'm going to go to a classic rock place too, and this is also really formative for me just musically in general, because it helped me appreciate more instrumental stuff where everything wasn't just about singing and lyrics.
Sure.
And also helped me appreciate the notion as a child. You know, like this sounds like a silly thing to say, but going back to like 6, 7, 8, whatever age I was when I first heard this album, it made me appreciate the idea of live music and made me want to go to concerts, which of course I didn't get to do until later. But Peter Frampton live.
Yeah, it's a good album.
One of the greatest rock albums of all time.
Sure.
And it's interesting that Frampton's best record is a live record.
Yeah.
And that is it's on a lot of top 100 rock records, and there are a few live albums that tend to be on there, like Rolling Stone's top 100.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a big one. We talked about Stunt a couple weeks ago.
Yes, that's another one that I was gonna talk about. And then
up there.
I would say, just as far as 90s rock goes, obviously. Nevermind Nirvana.
Oh, sure.
Very informative of the rest of 90s. Yeah.
And then for TMBG, it's Apollo 18.
And then for TMBG, it's John Henry. But
make sure you're speaking up. Nobody can hear you.
For TMBG, for me, it's John Henry.
Robert, $2 super chat. Which Bat Bunker items are you most thankful for? Wow, thanks for the super chat. No, I'm just looking around.
I mean, you are in the Bat Bunker.
Indeed I am. The collection for the Power Rangers board game for Heroes of the Grid is way up there.
Yeah,
because that's been such a big bonding experience for me and my kids. And has created a couple of new hobbies for me that have been big in my life the last 4 years or so. That I never thought I would care about, tabletop gaming in general, and then miniature painting.
Yeah.
And it's just been a really good teaching tool for the kids. You know, teaching teamwork and a little reading, a little math, a little maybe a lot of strategy.
Yeah.
And all of that. But it's also been just a really fun collection to amass, and it's one of the only things, maybe the only thing I'm 100% on.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not a completionist with very much, but I own all of that. So I don't know. If for recent years, that's probably the thing I'm most thankful for. Tied with that, or maybe just for my overall life more than that, is my Star Trek reference library.
Yes.
That's a big one. I'm very proud of that. I've
is
been
your chick
amassing
collection up there?
Yeah, that's up there too.
Is your Batman pop collection up there?
I mean, all the stuff is fun, or I wouldn't spend money on it. You know.
I mean, I feel like you probably like your arcade more than your Batman pops.
I'm not sure. Maybe. Yeah.
Now, which one have you spent more money on?
That's hard to say, actually. I would have to figure out kind of the average, because the average Batman pop is, I don't know. I don't really want to just get into the like monetized place with all of this, but the average Batman pop is somewhere between $12 and $15, and then because I buy most of them when they first come out, and then there are some that I've had to spend a little bit more on because they're collectible when I get them. But I usually draw the line at 50 or 60. I don't think I've ever spent more than that on a Batman pop, and that I've not done very often for regular sized ones. Now, obviously, there are the large ones, and there are the dioramas and the vehicles, and those are more expensive.
The vehicles.
Those are $30-$40. But anyway, so it'd be on average, let's say 15 times 130 versus the arcade machines, which have been anywhere between 400 and $1,000 if you count everything I put into the Virtua Fighter machine.
Okay.
So overall, it's probably still the arcades. But I bought those in a much faster amount of time. Yeah, I bought those quicker. But yeah, no, I mean that's a tough question. The Star Trek reference library I've been amassing since high school.
Yeah.
So that's like 20 years.
Yeah.
And I've had some really nice luck with that, with some collections I've managed to buy out, and just rare things that I've stumbled upon. I have old fanzines from the 70s. That
pretty cool stuff that I don't even know about.
Probably 100 copies of, it's still in existence. I would imagine there's some stuff like that. I've got some weird like rare records, and I've got like poetry chapbooks by TOS actors printed on their home computers.
What?
I'm throwing all this in the reference category. But yeah, I've got some really weird stuff. I've got some like explicit slash fiction that nobody should look at that I've never actually looked
Star
at.
Trek?
But I yes, but I've got it. A collection I got from that was another set of stuff that came from Vince's mom. She had some odd stuff from conventions back in the day. Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah, some really weird awkward
but
stuff.
At least you have it.
I will eventually get to a collection stream about that stuff. I say a stream, that's probably several streams. And by the way, I'll try to get back to the collection videos next year, if not one or two before the year is out. But I've taken a break from some of the extra stuff lately, just working on the movie, because we've had a lot of location shoots and stuff.
Yeah.
So in case people are wondering where those are, I will get back to the comics and all of that. Austin, we need to read some of that in After Dark. Yeah, maybe we'll look at some of that. Robert, don't you have a Batarang signed by Adam West? I imagine that would rank high for you. Yeah, but more thankful for the experience of getting to meet certain people than like the physical items that I've got from them, right? Sure. So that's why none of the signed stuff immediately comes to mind. Because it's more stuff that has been more of a major like regular part of my life, so it's nice to have that stuff, but that's kind of more about the memories than anything. So like I could have gone to that, I could have gone to the statue I had signed by Kevin Conroy. There's my Batleth signed by several Star Trek Klingons.
Yeah.
Like, I'm thankful for the fact that I got to meet those guys before the thing I got signed by them. Like, I'm really glad that I got to meet Robert Axelrod before he died. I don't actually have a thing signed by him. That's the actor who voiced Zed, because I had him sign a pocket watch and the signature rubbed off. So that was a mistake. I found a Lord Zed pocket watch. I thought that was so cool. I wanted him to sign it, and then the signature rubbed off on that material. So that was a mistake. I still need to just buy something with the signature on it. Chewbacca's Lover, $5 super chat. Rewatching your After Darks with Eric. In it, you say Ezra Miller Flash is never going to come out. Many predictions of things never coming out. I mean, we're being somewhat facetious in some of that, I think. I mean, that's a long time ago, so I don't remember. Eric had a tendency to assume quicker than me that stuff would never actually end up coming out.
Yeah.
But Maybe that was me that said it, not him. I don't remember. It's been forever. But Cinematographic says, seriously, I'm not sure what he's referring to there. Oh, with the Lord Zed thing? Yeah. Yeah, I kind of hate even admitting that out loud. Well, you know, I don't have a crystal ball. I mean, I make a lot of bad predictions. That's why I usually have a caveat in front of everything I'm guessing at, where I'm like, nah, I'm usually wrong, but here's what I think is going to happen. And then there are those few things, like, you can cherry pick the few things where I was seemingly, like, surprisingly on the money and go, wow, that guy's really good at predicting the future. And then you look at the 100 other things I said that were way off, and I'm not
and
actually...
And then look at Austin, 15 years. And he just said word for word a complete scene that happens in Deadpool and Wolverine, and it's like, what?
Yeah. He also does, but that's the thing, is that was impressive, but there are other times where he does that and he's not anywhere close.
Really?
Yeah. You know, naturally. Okay, anyway. Noel Anderson, hi there. How's your movie coming along? Really well. It is coming together. We are having a blast making it, and we're having more fun as it goes along because, A, we can kind of see more and more what the piece is going to look like coming together. Like, when you start the thing, obviously, I know what the story is supposed to be front to back, because I wrote a script. Because unlike a lot of Hollywood productions, I came in and had a script done, and we've been more or less making the thing we wrote. Occasionally, I will change a scene on the day or before we shoot it, because, you know, things will change. We'll get... you know, like, locations will change, or in one case I rewrote a complete scene from, well, half the scene, I guess I should say, because we found out we were gonna have an actress that was different from what I imagined, and so I rewrote it for her, and it ended up being a much better scene. Yeah. It was, I'm trying not to give away too much, but it's this like high school thespian. It's this 16, 17-year-old girl who is acting in high school and really wanted to be in the movie, and we were shooting in a location where her dad asked if she could be a background extra, and then I found out she had acting experience, and I was like, and I was like, no, let's put her in the movie if she wants to, you know, some lines. And she was all gung-ho about it. So I was like, I could do better. I could make this more fun for her and like give her a better scene to play. So I rewrote the thing and I gave her a better scene to play. It's like, you know, things like that'll happen. But more or less, we're shooting the story I wrote. And the other thing that's making it more fun as we go along is we just had this conversation last week in a production meeting. We're getting, not to shoot on our horns or anything, but we're getting better at it the more we do it.
Yeah.
And that's a double-edged sword, because, like, the cinematography is looking better, arguably the acting has gotten better, I don't know that for sure, but, like, we're just, you can tell we're much more confident behind the camera. Like everybody involved is, we've been doing this for 6 months, so now we feel more like veterans. When we started, and I mean, like, of course, the whole thing is a amateur production, but we feel less amateurish than we did when we started. I'll just say it like that. And everybody involved, and especially folks that had never done anything like this, like you, like Chris, that really hadn't been, you know, behind the camera very much. And obviously I made Spawn Year, but I'm not used to working with a crew. I'm used to making up stuff as I go. So I've had to learn how to be a little bit more prepared going in, how to communicate with a crew, because I've not had to do too much of that. And so anyway, the double-edged sword of it is, it's all looking better as we go, but then some of the earlier stuff we shot, I kind of want to go back and reshoot now. So there's at least one scene that we're probably going to go back and redo.
Yeah.
I think.
There is another scene that I really wish we could redo, but there's just no way.
Is it because of location, or?
We would have to redo the whole scene because
Can you cryptically tell me what you're talking about?
There has been replaced furniture in this location.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
We
can't do it.
We would have to do the whole scene again.
You're talking about the living room scene?
Yeah.
Yeah. There might be a couple of shots you can get away with if you're worried
Maybe.
about, like, you know, kind of camera jostling and stuff.
Yeah,
I know what
that
you're
was the
talking
big
about.
thing,
Yeah.
because I held the camera and it was my first day holding the camera and it was terrible.
It's a little shaky. Yeah.
It was really shaky. So
Yeah, maybe we should be pointing that out, because I don't think it's as bad as you're saying unless you're looking for it. But
yeah, maybe we shouldn't point that out.
but anyway, no, it is going great. We are. I don't know. I keep saying 90% shot. I think it is close to that number by now.
Mm-hmm.
We mostly just have the climax left to shoot, and there are some little pickups. There's one more short location thing we're doing in a couple of weeks. So we're hoping to have principal photography done by the end of January. Originally, we hoped to be done by the end of the year. We're taking our time with the climax. We wanted to wait at this point and get past the end of the year so that actors we need for that scene have, you know, their schedules are more clear and they're able to get here, and we don't have to rush it so hard. So we're really taking our time with the ending of it, and it's gonna be probably middle of next year before it comes out, because I've got to get the whole thing edited. My composer needs time to write for it and produce the music and all of that. So it'll come out when it comes out.
Yes.
But you know, originally we were hoping closer to the end of this year. Now it's gonna be middle of next year probably.
It will come out though.
But yeah, we're not
gonna Zaslav it.
Yeah, well, and we are far enough along in the project. I can damn near promise we're not going to scrap it at this point. Like, and I was never going to. But there was some worry at the beginning because of some projects that I've started in the past and had to abandon, and I totally understand that. You hate that, but I can't pretend like I have not had a history of some projects that we start, and for whatever reason we don't get as far in as we were hoping, or
but also what's nice about this is this is one thing.
But this it's one thing start to finish. It's not a series that doesn't have a clear end goal or that has a bazillion episodes, and if people aren't interested in it, it's hard to prioritize it. I've had that problem before. But the other thing is, the moment that I started taking donations for it,
you were like,
there was no chance we weren't gonna finish it. If we had, I would just have to give all the money back.
Yeah,
which would be a nightmare to figure out.
Robert Wild says, I mean, it could be worth it for a tax write-off, Cap.
Yeah, no, not so much. And we're not making, by the way, a dime on this at all. We're not even going to monetize it. We're handling it very much like a fan film. But I can't wait to show it to you guys. I keep trying to decide how much we want you guys to get to see before it comes out. Like, are we going to do a second trailer?
I want to do a second trailer, but...
Like, what characters are we going to feature in that trailer? We haven't decided if we're going to show off the superhero costume or not. Like, there's questions.
Yeah. There are, I do want to talk to you about, like, plotting a second trailer, because I kind of want to do it.
Sure.
But...
Well, we have enough shot now.
Yeah, and there's...
Like, would you want to do it with what we have shot, or would you want to wait until we have all of it?
I would want to do it with what we had shot.
Yeah.
Because, I mean...
You probably wouldn't want to show anything from the climax.
No, there's one shot I want to show from the climax. But...
That we already did? Oh,
yeah.
Good. Okay, cool.
Because we had a really funny idea for it, and I was like, yeah, sure. No, there's like another aspect of the movie that I kind of want to focus on that we should talk about.
Okay, cool.
So, just keep that in mind.
Wait. I would love to talk more about that, but we're gonna get to a point where we're gonna start giving away too much, I guess.
Yeah.
For anybody that, for whatever reason, doesn't know what we're talking about, we're making a movie called Superhero Rewind the Movie, and it is a superhero movie about reviewing superhero movies, and I am playing multiple versions of myself at different ages, and Jason plays a version of me from the year 1996, and it is a time travel thing. And all of that, or at least some of that, is revealed in the teaser that we put out.
Yeah.
I guess not so much the multiple me's, or the me playing multiple me's. We don't see that yet, but...
Now, if we make a second trailer, will it be a trailer 1 and, like, the first one was a teaser.
Oh yeah, we should be completely obnoxious about that. It'd be the teaser and then one, and then we should make TV spots.
We
that
should
won't
make a
go on
TV spot.
Yeah.
No, we should make a TV spot that just shows up randomly in the middle of a stream.
It's actually a good idea. Yeah.
It's just like it's like a short.
Well, we can play them during the breaks on Captain Logan show.
Yeah, we can.
Chewbacca's Lover, $5 super chat. Thanks for the support tonight, guys. My favorite one is about the Batman 2004. Oh, he's still talking about predictions, okay. If the Batman movie ever comes out, the Batman 2004.
If the Batman movie comes out, then, because.
Oh, it's gonna be hard to Google. Ben Affleck was involved.
That's back when Ben Affleck was involved, and
well,
you were talking about that.
Well, I'll say that. I guess we got it wrong because it's the flip of it now. It's hard to Google that show at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if you type in the Batman now, you get the movie. You get that more recent stuff. But I guess with cartoon shows, you tend to just write in the dates of them when they have a name like that that's duplicated. And I guess I wasn't really thinking about that at the time. Like, there's lots of different things called Batman. So if you're looking for Adam West, you have to say 66. If you're looking for Michael Keaton, you have to say 89. And I guess now we've got a couple of things called the Batman. Now it's 2004. And then the other thing, you don't even really have to put a date in because that's probably what's going to pop up. Or you just say Pattinson Batman.
Yeah. Or you say the Batman show, the Batman movie.
Yes. That's the other way to do it, too. Well, and, if you think about it, if that Brave and the Bold movie ever comes out, you're going to have the same thing with that.
You are.
Where that's a movie that has the same title
Good point.
of a cartoon show.
Yeah.
Recently, there's a... I don't know if it's a rumor or confirmed. I can never tell with this stuff. But there's been talk that Brave and the Bold doesn't have a script. And so they're not getting into production as quickly as Gunn was hoping. And it was actually news when Gunn said, well, it's not going to go into production yet because we don't have a script. And it's really sad that is the state of Hollywood, that it is news that they're not making it yet because they don't have a script. Yeah. And that we have to applaud Gunn and pat him on the back. And we do. It's unfortunate. These are what the standards are.
Yeah.
Because he's not rushing a thing into production before they know what the story is. Mm-hmm. Or what most of the lines folks are going to say in it are. Basic foundational things that typically you need. Typically. There are exceptions to this. Iron Man was different.
I feel
like there are exceptions to this.
I feel like there should be I don't know, a pitch?
Well, they probably have a pitch, but you don't want to go into a movie just with a pitch.
Right, but they should be working on it. It shouldn't be... They shouldn't even have to go out and say that they're not working on production yet. And
no. The idea is they had I think the idea is they had a date they thought they were going to start, and Gunn's not starting it yet because they're not there yet. That's all it is. I'm not sure what you're talking about, but that's all it is. It's just they're not. The news is they're not ready, so they're not going to start before they're ready. Okay. Which shouldn't be news. But it is, because a lot of productions, including MCU productions, start like that.
Yes.
Like they don't actually know what they're making yet, but they're going to start making it. Yeah. Where they have animatics for entire fight sequences figured out before they have a director to make the movie.
Yes.
So that's great. That's making your product with integrity. I'm really glad Gunn is doing that. It is preposterous to me that we live in a world where that is news.
Yeah. The Nick Rules has the same shirt that you're wearing.
Well, that's cool, Nick. You rule. It's a neat shirt. I think this might have been a Walmart find. I can't remember.
Yeah, I know it was kind of everywhere for a minute.
And I'm not, as you guys know, the biggest anime fan, but I've kind of, opened up more and more to it and more to anime designs. I think somebody gave me this, but I like it. So it's like a, anime or manga style Marvel shirt. So it's got like an anime Hulk and Captain America and some other.
I have an idea.
Captain Marvel. Yeah.
Next year, for your collection stream, instead of doing a normal video for one of your collections,
Yeah.
you should do a part 2 of taking off a bunch of t-shirts.
Oh, I don't want to do that again. I was kind of worried that I stretched too many of my shirts. Also, some of the same shirts would show up in the... Dan Schneider, $5 super chat. Thanks, man. If you do the TV spots, you have to pretend it has a rating. Superhero Rewind the movie, rated PG-13 or whatever rating you think it would have. That's a great idea.
So we don't know.
We don't know.
I think it's...
Obviously, we're not sending it to the ratings board. This is a thing we're just putting up for our channel, so we get to decide what it is. So, like, it is an unrated thing, but we haven't decided if it went to the board, what rating we're wanting it to likely get, if that makes any sense at all.
It depends on, there's a specific scene that if we put it, or a specific, like, line...
It makes it rated R.
That if we put it in there, it makes it rated R, but if we leave it out, then it's PG-13.
Yeah. I wrote a script that is PG-13.
Yes.
I actually thought it might go closer to R. I almost went further with language than I ended up going.
Okay.
But yeah, Nick rules. What genre would you consider it? Does he mean R movie?
Yeah.
I mean, it is a superhero
YouTube
movie.
video.
Yeah, it's an elaborate YouTube video. No, it is a story. I mean, it's starting to finish. It's a sci-fi thing.
It's an action movie sometimes.
It's a comedy.
Well, it has action sequences.
It has action. I don't even want to call it an action movie.
It's not an action movie.
It has obligatory action because it's a superhero movie. Yeah. I think it's probably better whatever genre Spawn Year was, that's the genre it is. Because it is kind of a follow-up to that, even though I think more or less you can watch it without Spawn Year. Mm-hmm. You'll get more out of it if you've seen Spawn Year, because there are lots of references and callbacks and discussions and things about that show. Mm-hmm. But it's, I don't know, sci-fi comedy / superhero.
Yeah, I think so. It's definitely comedic.
It hits a lot of things. It does hit a lot of different things.
Although I think the crew will just kind of laugh a lot, just like the crew watching it, because they'll be like, oh, why did we do it this way?
Yeah.
And stuff like that. I feel like that will be more of our laughs than your guys' laughs. Will be more of like the actual script is funny. But I think it is still funny.
I am having the same thing I did with Spawn Year. So I've got a rough cut now of the first half hour of the movie. And yes. Having looked at that now, I watched the first couple scenes with the crew, and I had the same thing I did with Spawn Year, where I get really serious about the stuff while I'm making it, and probably overly so. And then I sit down and look at it. I'm a pretty high strung guy, and I'll be on set, and I'll be kind of nervous wreck about stuff, and I'm worried that we're not gonna make our times to get things finished for an evening, and I'm worried about people making it take longer and stuff. And then I go back and I look at it and I look at the footage we shot, and especially once I get it edited, and I go, oh yeah, that's right, we're making a comedy. Mm-hmm. I get so serious about it, I forget that it's funny, and I will also sometimes worry that it won't come off funny because I wasn't laughing while making it. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't, and a lot of the time we are. Don't get me wrong, we're having a lot of fun while we're shooting, but I'll be so in it that I'll worry that the seriousness that I've got in my head is going to come out on screen, and that it's not funny. And then I go back and look at it and I go, oh no, it's still what it was on the page. At least idea-wise, genre-wise, like, it's still a comedy. I had that all over Spawn Year, particularly the finale with that. Like, I started taking the story too seriously, and then I went back and looked at it and I was like, oh yeah, that's right. This is ridiculous. Mm-hmm. I forgot what we were making was ridiculous.
Yes.
But anyway, Cedar Sticks, I don't think it's exactly right to call it a Frankenstein. Like, it's just, like, lots of things are hard to pin down exactly what the genre is. But he says, Dagos, do you have a part in this Frankenstein? I think, Austin, it's okay to say, yeah, Austin is in it.
He's in it.
He's in it.
He's in it.
I don't want to say anything more than that, but he is in it.
I don't want to say where.
Yeah, no, don't say anything about that, but he is in it. Jareth, you need to get it on Letterboxd so you can put it in the Superhero Rewind commentary project list and put a commentary on it.
I mean, you could do a commentary on it.
It will probably have to go on that list, yeah.
It will, because it's a superhero movie.
Because it is a superhero movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
Okay, what else can we talk about?
Let's talk about things that we're thankful for.
Oh, Bob the Hun. Before we get off the movie, let me read this real quick. I appreciate the interest in the movie, guys, because we've been working really hard on this thing and trying not to give away too much. So I haven't talked about it a ton, and every now and again it'll come up, and I'll kind of worry that there's not as much interest from the audience as there is from us, if that makes sense. Where it's like, there's a lot of stuff that people want us to be putting out that I haven't had time to do lately, and so you hate to spend all this time on a movie project, and then you put the thing out, and then people are like, well, we didn't really want that. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. That was a big worry with Spawn Year also, and it's a risk you got to take with just a passion thing and a thing you really want to make. Yeah. And that ended up being one of the things I'm most thankful for in my career that we did that. And so anyway, it's nice to see that people are not minding us talking about it and are excited that it's happening. So that's cool. Anyway. What was that comment I was going to read? Oh, yes, Bob the Hun. Would you ever consider telling more stories in this universe in comic book or graphic novel form? I think you could have fun with that.
There's something I really want him to make.
Yeah, Jason has an idea.
Yeah.
So something like that could happen. I will also say I don't know. You think it's a bad idea for me to bring this up, Jason? I don't know how to even tell you what I'm thinking right now. I guess I'll just do it. Yeah. I am seriously kicking around doing a novelization of the movie.
Do it.
Which I might try to write over Christmas break, and then do an audiobook for, if not a print version, at least a digital print version. I don't know if I'll actually do a physical, because I'm not selling. I don't want to sell anything from this, so I don't know if that would happen, because I'd have to sell it.
Yeah. I feel like you should put it on Patreon.
Oh, I could do that. That's true. That might be the way to do it.
Yeah. Bob the Hun says a video game would also be cool.
It would.
I mean, I have limited experience in video game stuff, and I do
we might
have
to find
ideas for it
to help us with that. Yeah.
But it would be funny to have like the Superhero Rewind the movie simulator on Roblox or something.
Slipmaker, I'm thankful for Geevolution and the prospect of a Simpsons Season 5 stream in the not-too-immediate future. Yeah, we definitely want to get back to those. I gotta be honest with you, time has just gotten away from me on that. I kind of, like, this is awful, and I guess I just need to be more organized. I kind of have just let it get away from me. I've kind of forgotten about it. I don't know how that's been over a year since we did 4. Like, it's crazy.
Is that a good season?
Yeah, it is. And I started watching 5 immediately after. I was gung ho about it. I was really excited to do another one. But then the problem is we had a newborn, and it's really difficult to binge a lot of stuff and take any notes when you're dealing with a baby in the house, and time just got away from me. So we definitely want to do more of those.
Yeah.
And we'll try to get organized and get to that soon. Well, that and the movie. Once the movie is done, especially once I've got a lot of the editing finished, obviously, I'll have a lot more time in my day where I can prepare more stuff. It hasn't even been so much a matter of as much streaming time as it is just prep time. Like, you'll notice I'm not doing as much stuff that I have to do a lot of preparation for right now.
Yeah.
Senior Stakes, one day more Crypto Freaks. Yeah, and I was hoping to do at least 1 or 2 more of those before the year is out. and that has not been as much in the cards. Too much weekend stuff, just like travel and
movie stuff,
movie shoots and things like that.
A lot of movie shoots.
It's just I need a 12-hour block, and then I need time to sleep.
We've had a lot of weekend stuff lately, as far as movie stuff goes.
Dan Schneider says a novelization would also be awesome. I would pay good money for that. Well, thanks, man. Again, I don't know if I would do a print version. I didn't. This is not a project I was interested in making money on. You know. And with the movie, some of that is because of licensed things, where there's just a lot of like licensed images and things in the thing, because it's about superhero movies and we shoot a lot in the bunker, and so there's this gray area of like how easy is it or how legal is it to even monetize. So that's one thing. There's maybe gonna be a little bit of footage and stuff that could get the thing copyright flagged. There's just no way around to do the movie right. So that's part of it. With a book, it's a little different. I don't know that there would be necessarily anything in the book that I couldn't legally put in it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We're doing a little bit with the theme I've always used for Superhero Rewind. I don't actually have the rights to that theme.
Yeah. So
there's things like that just made me go, I'm not monetizing this, because if I do, I can't make it the way I want to make it. That's part of why we're doing it that way.
Right. With the novelization, are you gonna do the novel? If you actually do it. Would you do the novelization thing, where you like get in characters' heads and you like really kind of make it sort of a different thing?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know how to not write prose that way, honestly. I mean, I do, but I would just have to fight myself the whole time. Like, I write character-driven fiction. That's how I roll.
And will you go with the ending that we're using for the movie, or will you go for the first draft ending?
That's a good question. So I was going to say, we have 3 drafts at this point.
Oh, yeah, we have 3. Yeah.
We are up to 3 drafts now. I've changed enough with the shooting script that we essentially have a third script. We essentially have a different shooting script now. And the first draft, there are a few things that are pretty dramatically different.
Yes.
And folks that... Sorry, we're still talking about this. Folks that donated a certain amount to the project when we were crowdfunding it, I can't remember if it was 50 or 100, I think it was 50, are getting physical scripts. And they'll get, it was supposed to be both drafts. I guess they'll get 3 drafts, or maybe they'll just get pages of the big changes we made for the third version. I'm not sure. But anyway, what I want to do with the novelization is intentionally add some things that aren't in the movie, and then possibly go with some of, but not all of, the original scenes that we've now changed. So I want it to be a different experience.
Yeah, I think so.
So I'm
think it'd be fun.
I'm gonna make it intentionally wrong.
Yeah.
You know, this place where that's not what happens in the movie. Like, that's what and if I was...
But you gotta still make it fun.
I will. If I was really... Yeah, and I'll try to make it its own piece. If I was gonna be really authentic about it, I would also release it a week before the movie comes out.
Yes, but don't do that.
I'm probably not gonna actually
Because there are things in the movie that I just don't want to spoil at all. There's a specific thing that I just don't want to spoil at all.
Yeah. Robert, I keep forgetting about The Crooked Man. I still need to see it. Yeah, I keep forgetting about that too. And it's surreal that that's already on Blu-ray. Like, it seems like just a couple of days ago we were talking about the weirdness of that not going theatrical, and then it's already out. Pros and Cons Guide, $2 super chat. Will it be a Netflix movie? No, it will not. It will be a Geevolution movie on our channel. You'll be able to watch it for free.
You should...
If you're a patron, you can watch it early, and if you donated, you'll be able to watch it early, or a certain amount you'll be able to watch it early.
The first thing you see should be the G
I say
logo.
that. I think the idea is the I don't have the tier in front of me. The tier's in front of me, the tier that got early viewing, I think, gets it earlier than Patreon, and I think Patreon probably gets it like a day or 2 early. Mm-hmm. And then there's a tier where people get to watch a screening with us.
On like Discord or something?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Discord or Skype or something.
Yeah.
However we do that. Yeah. The idea was we would mute everybody and all watch it together, and then there's a Q&A afterwards.
Oh, so no one really talks to each other.
No.
Ah.
No, because we want people to be able to watch it unfettered and
Sure.
not have to listen to people talking while we're doing it.
Sure.
But the idea is we stream it, you get to watch it. It's probably an unlisted YouTube video, and then we all get on Discord afterwards. That's probably how we do it.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I feel like everyone should go on Discord, and then everyone except for you just turn off their volume on Discord, so no one hears each other, but you can hear everyone, so everyone can laugh at things.
Oh, that'd be
you know,
cool. So we can see if it's working.
Yeah.
Have kind of a screener.
Yeah.
That's a neat idea too. It'll be too late to change anything, but.
Anyway.
Okay, what else should we talk about?
We have
we're already close to an hour,
questions.
and we were only gonna go an hour tonight. But are you okay to stand up a little bit?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
But we have a lot of questions.
Do we? Well,
Yes.
let's answer that. Did we do all the super chats though?
We have one super chat.
Let's do that. Whatever. Well, I must have missed one.
One reply has a super chat. From a country without Thanksgiving, what would you do to make it unique? It feels like a less expensive Christmas from the outside looking in.
Yeah, it is in the sense that there's no gifts, but it is a feast.
Yes.
So you still have to buy food, and it's a lot of some of the same food. There's usually pie at both Thanksgiving and Christmas. Sometimes Christmas does a turkey, and sometimes it's more of a ham. So a lot of people do turkey at Thanksgiving and then a ham at Christmas.
Yeah.
I guess a ham is probably cheaper than a turkey.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, I digress. So yeah, what would you do? So he's saying, if you made up a Thanksgiving for another country, what would you do to make it unique? Is that what he's saying?
Yeah, I think so.
Is that the idea? Sorry, read the first part of that question again. Just make sure that I'm...
Yeah, because I don't really... From a country without Thanksgiving, what would you do to make it unique? It feels like... I think he's saying that
he's from a country
without Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Right, because he's from... I think somewhere in Africa.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing... That's cool. Africa is a country I'd like to visit.
Yeah.
But yeah, if...
No, he's from Sweden.
Oh, okay. That is not in Africa.
Well, there are a couple different people in our...
So I kind of get what he's saying, like, from the outside in, Thanksgiving sort of looks like another Christmas. It is in the sense that, again, there's a lot of food, and everybody goes to, a family member's house, and it's just getting all together for family. I've always thought, ever since I was a kid, that it's odd that Thanksgiving and Christmas are so close together. You have all these people that have to travel, and then a month and not even a half later, let's do that again.
Mm-hmm.
It's very strange. Could we put Christmas, you're sort of locked in because it's a religious holiday. Thanksgiving, I guess, is sort of the same thing in that you're locked in because it's more or less the time of year that the pilgrims landed. But, like, it'd be nice if one of these things we could shove to earlier in the year. Have Thanksgiving in, like, April or something. But whatever. Thanksgiving, in some ways, at least in my opinion, is one of the more generic of the holidays. Because there's not really any major traditions that go with it for most people other than the kinds of food you have,
yes,
and maybe going around the table saying what you're thankful for. And not even everybody does that. Whereas Christmas, there's all of these different traditions.
But
you have stockings and you have presents.
Blander holidays than Thanksgiving.
But even like what?
Like, I don't know, Labor Day?
Yeah, but those are in a different category. You know what I mean? Of the holidays that everybody gets together for, or that a lot of people at least do family stuff during,
mm-hmm,
that are major enough deals that they've been easily commercialized. So not just the federal holidays.
mm-hmm,
Not just like Memorial Day, okay? But like Any holiday that you in your head associate with a color or a color scheme is typically a commercialized holiday. So for those,
Then St. Patrick's Day.
but St. Patrick's Day, like there's a lot of drinking that have like people that are into St. Patrick's Day would not see that as a bland holiday.
Are there people that are into that
Oh,
holiday?
absolutely there are.
Okay.
Yeah. And like everybody is supposed to wear green that day, or you get pinched. Like there is,
Yes.
it's stupid, but there is at least one, if not a couple, of major traditions that go along with it.
Sure.
Easter, major traditions
Easter,
that go
yes.
along with it. You do eggs, you have an Easter egg hunt.
Yes.
There's stuff.
Yes.
Sorry, say that again.
4th of July, there's like fireworks.
Right? Yeah. Independence Day.
Yes.
Exactly. The aliens attack. Like there's major
ID4.
traditions that go along with this. Thanksgiving, like some people put out a cornucopia. Not a lot of people do that.
What's a cornucopia?
A cornucopia? It's like a horn-looking thing that's got a bunch of like fall iconography in it.
They
It's
like
got,
put out in their yard or something?
or on their mantle or.
Oh. I didn't know that thing had a name.
Yeah.
Cornucopia.
That's what that's called.
Okay.
Exactly. So I don't know if I've come anywhere close to actually answering the question, but yeah, I don't know what to do to make Thanksgiving less generic. Well, okay, I guess the only other major tradition I can think of is people watch the Macy's Day Parade.
Yes.
I guess there's that. And like if you like the show Friends, people watch Thanksgiving episodes of Friends.
Yes.
We do that. Dan Schneider, $2 super chat. Will your movie have a poster or a VHS/DVD cover? Do it. We're not gonna do a physical print run for it. For all the reasons I stated earlier, and because I did that with a documentary 10 years ago, and it was an absolute pain in the ass. But we are gonna have a poster.
There's a poster.
I have shown it. Like we do have a poster already. There might be another poster. So we have like a hand-drawn a hand-drawn digitally created poster by Tyler Overall, and we may do another poster that's actually physically shot. We've actually been talking about that this week. DJ and I had some ideas about that a while back that we might still try to do.
Yes.
But anyway, you said we had some other, and it would be cool to make that one of those look like a VHS cover. So we might do a thing like that.
So there are a lot of what are you thankful for questions?
Oh, are there really? I didn't think we got any, which is
we
why
got
I was
a lot, and then we just talked about the movie for 20
All right,
minutes.
I missed those.
Yeah.
Look, it's not my fault. People kept us engaged on that topic.
Yes.
Honestly, I am thankful for these guys because they'll actually watch the movie.
Yeah.
And, I mean, if you're in the crowd right now and you don't care about that, don't feel like you have to watch it.
No, you don't have to watch
Just the folks that have been talking to us about it, that makes me feel really good because we've been working really hard on it.
Yeah.
There's so much stuff I want to tell you guys about right now that I can't.
Yeah.
Look,
man,
we are gonna see. We can't talk about that. We are gonna make. We've about decided. We've got so much good behind the scenes material, and we've got a lot of it. That we're talking about instead of just doing a blooper reel.
although we might still do it.
We'll probably do that too.
Or maybe like we'll do that like inside of the special features. We might do that.
Yeah, because we're probably gonna have either a bunch of separate special features uploads or a video journal video like I did for Spawn Year.
Yeah.
I'm not sure yet.
I'm not sure there's
We've
so much.
got a lot more than we did with Spawn Year.
Which is weird
already.
because
It's not-
1 year
it's
there
not,
was
though.
40 hours of it.
It's not though, but I was by myself. Most of that I shot on my own. There's just
so
not
there's
as much
just
good
not
background.
fun.
Yeah, when we had stuff, and I mean like there's some funny mistakes and things here and there, but for the video journal thing, you have to be like deliberately, intentionally talking about the project and making stuff as you go. And I did a little bit of that on my own here and there, but more often what it would happen was the rare times we actually needed a crew and we had other actors and stuff. So I would pretty intentionally make sure that we stopped and talked to the camera for a while when we had those shoots. But there were some times where Brandon and I were working together, just making some kind of like practical effect work or something, and I would stop everything on the day and ask Brandon to point the camera at me, and I would talk about the show. And so that's how a lot of the video journal stuff happened. Okay. With this, there's a lot of it that's happened more organically because we have a crew all the time.
Yes.
And so if we go somewhere, we tend to stop at some point and to talk about the location.
We're going to have a field day with those special features.
But what I was going to say is, we're talking about doing a whole blooper cut of the movie.
Yes.
So we're talking about having the movie, and then later having another version where every scene is intentionally wrong.
Yes. Then we can add some stuff, too.
I'm a little worried that'll be the better version, too. Because there's some really funny stuff. And hopefully it's not just funny for us, like it will be self-indulgent, but the whole project's kind of self-indulgent. Yeah. So I don't feel so bad about that. But like there's some places where one of my kids will just walk into frame while we're shooting. It's so funny.
It's so funny.
And so we want to do a cut where that just happens.
Yeah.
Senior Sticks, when is Spawn Year on DVD, Blu-ray, and streaming? Spawn Year with commentary.
Not streaming.
It's already streaming. It's on YouTube. Robert.
Although I do want to. If I know you don't want to make another DVD thing.
I really don't.
But
I always wanted a Spawn Year box set, but I don't want to have to make the thing.
A triple feature.
Also, I don't think legally it even makes sense for me to make that.
A triple feature with Spawn Year the movie, the documentary, and the superhero line movie would be awesome.
That would be cool. That would be really cool. But again, it would have to be a thing I just gave away to patrons because I don't think legally I could sell that stuff.
No.
The documentary I could.
Yeah.
Because I have. That I can say. Well, I mentioned earlier that I wasn't sure if just because of licensed things on frame, you could do that with a documentary. So with this, a lot of that stuff you'd probably be. It's not like I'm putting on a Batman costume and saying I'm Batman.
Right.
It's a little different. So that part of it's probably not really that big of a problem.
Also,
it's more
not
just
sponsored by Mountain
music
Dew?
and stuff. Well, yeah, that's true too. But you're not putting it out commercially,
right?
So
now, as far as Spawn Year goes, you are putting on a Spawn costume and saying you're Spawn.
Oh no, you can't sell that. Yeah, Spawn's in the title of the thing. No. Anyway,
and someone does put on a Batman costume and say he's Batman in Spawn Year.
No, a couple people do.
Yeah.
Because you have stocky Frank Miller Batman and you have Tiny Adam West.
Yeah.
I guess he didn't say he was Batman. He just said he was Adam West. Let's finally kick off what we were originally going to do with this stream. This has completely gone off the rails. Robert, which Batman movies are you guys most thankful for, including animated ones?
Oh.
For me, it's Phantasm in '89 all day long.
And for me, it's The Batman and Batman Forever.
Really?
Yeah.
Why Forever?
I think Forever's really fun. And I'm your kid, so I'm a little sick of '89.
That is the most honest thing you've ever said.
And I also like Dark Knight, okay? I think Dark Knight is better than Batman Begins, but it's not one of my favorite Batman movies of all time. I probably put it over some of the animated ones. I do like Under the Red Hood, and I do like Phantasm. But yeah.
Well, I would say '89 and Phantasm for me in forming me as a Batman fan and getting me into all of this in the first place, and then Begins obviously in helping to form my my critical ability.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Return of the Joker.
Like, I don't get into this job without that.
Return of the Joker. I
These are all good Batman movies. That's true.
have a top superhero movies list, and I put that at like number 6 or something. So, yeah, that Batman movie is like really, really high up.
Austin, that's such a good point. You said the Batman and Batman Forever, and he goes, so the 2 Riddler movies.
Yeah, I like Riddler.
Well, of course, I'm a giant Riddler fan.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go ahead and blow through some of these. Go ahead.
Okay. Are you ready?
Yeah.
All right.
I'm so glad we decided to do this tonight, you guys.
Yeah. CG animated fan.
Yes.
What's your favorite movie to talk about?
Yeah, once again, Begins is way up there. I mean, there's like 19 years of content of me just rambling about that movie. Mm-hmm. So that's a big one. And again, 89, obviously. Yeah, I guess just Batman thing is really.
You do like to talk about 89. I think we get. We get
it. Did you just say movies?
Movie, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know if he means on camera. I would say probably Field of Dreams is up there. I don't know if you like to talk about that movie a lot.
Yeah, I mean, that's a movie that's more fun for me to just watch and experience than to actually have conversations about, I guess.
Yeah.
Although Vincent and
he's back.
Oh, hi there.
Hi.
Good to see you, man. Although Vince and I had a really good discussion about the nature of free will in that movie.
Oh, really?
with that ending. Yeah, we're like, for the sake of this guy going through a character arc and getting to finally reconcile with his father, the powers that be or God or whatever seem to explicably just make a bunch of people drop whatever they're doing at the end of that movie and all go to a farm to watch ghosts play baseball.
Yes. That movie...
Like, what about all of those people?
That movie makes absolutely no sense.
Yeah, and I don't care.
Yeah, no, he doesn't have any seats for these people.
Yeah, I know!
There's no parking spots. I don't know how... I don't know if the voice thought about this.
No, didn't think about any of those things. Yeah. No, that's all there just for an image at the end of that movie. So I like talking about that because I think it's funny. The Matrix.
The Matrix
is a movie that I've endlessly talked about.
It's a good movie to talk about. It's also another movie that is complicated.
Yes. Other movies that you enjoy talking about?
That I enjoy talking about? What are movies that I talk about a lot? I don't know. Yes, The Matrix. Gosh.
Robert, is the movie title for Free Willy partly a pun on the phrase free will? I'm going to assume not. I've never had that thought before. And there is no free will versus predestination idea in that movie.
I've never seen that.
I don't think. Like, not that I remember. I haven't seen that in 30 years, because why would you go back to that? But
yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I like talking about.
Wrath of Khan.
Wrath of Khan. I like talking about Wrath of Khan.
That's a movie I've talked about a lot.
Oh, yeah. I don't talk about that movie. I talk about Star Trek 4.
Oh, sure. That's fun, too.
So that's my favorite Star Trek movie because it's the one that I actually remember after watching. What's really weird for me in Star Trek 2 is I watched that movie a lot.
You have the Dark Knight Returns problem that I have?
I cannot tell you a single thing that happens in that movie other than a guy falls off a bridge. Because that
in Wrath of Khan?
Yeah.
That's the only thing you remember?
Yes. Because I remember that's like the moment that was always memorable to me. But and then obviously the scene at the beginning in the on the planet with Khan with a little bug thing.
You don't remember who's holding up the damn elevator?
No.
You don't remember Scotty's dead nephew, whose scene was cut out of the theatrical version?
What?
So when Scotty shows up on the bridge holding his body, nobody knows why he's that upset about it.
What? Yeah, I don't know.
You don't know about that?
I need to watch that movie again because I just...
You don't remember the captain who gets taken over by Khan and ends up incinerating himself with a phaser, and then later ends up playing Captain Dathon in the Temerian episode of TNG?
I do like talking about Terminator 2.
Darmok. Why can't I think of that episode for a second?
We just watched that.
Yeah, we just watched that.
That is a good episode.
Yeah, Terminator 2 is a movie I like to talk about.
Yeah, Terminator 2 is a movie I really like to talk about because it's fun.
It buzzes him Spock dying? You don't remember that?
Okay, I do remember that.
You don't remember Khan's Two-Face face?
No. Well, yes.
You don't remember From Hell's Heart I Stab at Thee?
No.
You don't remember Revenge is a dish best served cold?
Okay, I do know that, yeah.
You don't remember regulations state impulse only while out of space dock?
No.
You don't remember that?
I need to go back to that movie. I just watched Star Trek 4 way too many times, so
I could go on. You don't remember Kirk gets a pair of 19th century glasses for his birthday that he then pawns off to get cash in Star Trek 4?
I do know about that.
You don't remember that? You don't remember Chekhov?
Yeah, I do remember Chekhov, who wasn't even
in space scene. You don't remember Botany Bay? Oh no!
I do remember that. I remember the first
remember that.
I remember the first 15 minutes.
You don't remember why are we treating your birthday like a funeral?
When is that in the movie?
You don't remember that? That's in the scene where he gives him the glasses.
Okay, yeah. Chewbacca's lover has Jason seen Watchmen from 2009?
Yes.
Have I? Yes.
You have.
Yes, I have.
You don't remember that either?
I do remember that.
You don't remember Vietnam?
No, it's good. That is a good movie.
I could do this all day. This game has been really fun.
It is. Are you Captain America?
Yes. I can do this all day.
You make fun of people in MCU when they say that, but now you're in the MCU.
Oh. Well, I am a captain.
Yes.
After all.
You're a captain after all.
Well,
oh my gosh.
Senior Sticks, one pawn glasses. I've never pawned glasses for money. Well, yeah, if they're antique. It was an antique, like, valuable pair of glasses.
Mm-hmm. But yes, I have seen Watchmen, and it was good. Now, I had some reservations going in because I had seen BVS, right? And so it was like...
so you had negative preconceived notions of Snyder.
But no, I mean, it was directed all right. I mean, but I mean, everyone, it did a good job of adapting Watchmen, I think.
I have more of an anchoring to watch that again after a couple of days ago doing the blind commentary on the first part of the new animated movie, which was better than I expected, honestly, by quite a bit. But it just feels...
Muppet Rorschach?
With Muppet Rorschach? Yes. Some of the voice casting was a bit of a mistake. Some of it was excellent.
I gotta just, like, watch the trailer just to see what Rorschach sounds like.
He sounds like Dr. Teeth from the Electric Mayhem! He does!
Oh, man.
But yeah, it feels really superfluous, and, like, you wouldn't watch it unless you already knew Watchmen, so, like, it feels sort of obligatory and a little pointless, but much better than I expected it to be.
Okay.
But also kind of rushed. You know, they're trying to cram every important thing in it. Like, it's authentic to a fault. I say that. I would also be complaining if they left major stuff out. So I guess more of the issue is it should have been in 3 parts. I said that when we did that commentary.
Okay.
I also would have left Black Freighter out completely, and bizarrely, it's there. Yeah, there's Black Freighter in it. It's really weird.
Wait, what?
Yeah, and they did like parallel story stuff where they've got the Black Freighter text, and you'll hear, because they're showing the comic, so it's still a comic in that.
Yeah.
And then you've got the captain from Black Freighter reading his dialogue off screen, paralleling with things that happen in Watchmen, where you're seeing the characters on the screen, which is kind of a neat idea, but if you're gonna do that, they just needed more time. They rushed up. And Rorschach sounds like sometimes he's, especially with the journal entries, like he's talking at 1.5 speed.
Oh.
Another thing that's really interesting about that is JMS wrote the adaptation.
Oh.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah, that is weird.
Okay. Austin, where's the comedian? He would never be killed by an ordinary citizen. Anyway.
Okay,
that's from Rises. That's not
one?
BVS. Yeah. Throw out another one.
Another one. Bob the Hun.
Robert, you don't remember Kirk's son?
Bob the Hun.
You don't remember Can I Cook or Can't I? I'm just gonna keep doing
Remember the Wrath of Khan?
Remember the most famous Star Trek movie ever made?
I know. Okay. Bob the Hun. What is your favorite R-rated movie or M-rated video game?
Oh.
Okay, well, R-rated movie, it's Terminator 2.
For Jason. For me, it's The Matrix.
But
Which in hindsight almost
also,
doesn't even feel like a rated R movie anymore, but yeah.
But also The Matrix, and John Wick.
Yeah, that's way up there.
And
just that whole franchise for me, but I still at this point 4 might be my favorite.
Yeah. Now, is Captain Invincible rated R? Yes. There's nudity.
It would have to be, or it's unrated, but yeah.
It doesn't really count, but
yeah,
we just watched that, so it's been on the mind. And
well, everybody knows I love Misery.
It's a great movie. It's a really good movie. Evil Dead 2.
For you.
It's
not
great.
so much on my end, but yeah.
Evil Dead 2 is great. As far as M-rated video games go, I've been playing a lot of Fallout 4 recently. I got back into that after not playing it for a couple months. I don't really play a lot of other M-rated games. I mean, I play... That's not M-rated.
I love how people in the comments are still playing the D-Rim and Wrath of Khan game. I thought everybody was going to be so tired of that after I did 19 of them, but it's still happening. Akira, do you remember when Khan picks Chekhov up like a doll? But you left out the part where there is an obligatory handle on the costume.
There is?
Yeah. Those spacesuits, they have a handle.
Well, yeah.
That can only be there in case the bad guy wants to lift you with his hand.
That's perfect.
It's great. I have not played, weirdly, a ton of M-rated stuff.
Yeah.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
Because, like, a lot of the really popular stuff these days is.
Is it?
But I'm just not a big AAA guy, so, like, what have I...
Yeah.
That's hilarious. I guess that would be mature, yeah. But, like, what big mature AAA... Oh, Detroit Become Human. That would be mine.
Okay.
Surely that's it.
And for me, it's Fallout.
I guess I haven't thought that much about video game ratings, because... up until recently, I didn't have to worry so much about that with kids, where it's just, if it's modern AAA, you're probably not playing with me, you know what I mean? So I haven't really thought that much about what I'm playing is M versus teen or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Austin said Arkham Knight got an M. I forgot about that.
Okay.
I want to say Dead Space, but I didn't play enough of it.
Yeah.
That's on sale right now, the remaster. I kind of want to get that.
Yeah. AMC says, agree fully with your take, Jason, but what versions have you seen? Of what?
Versions of what?
Versions of what? Of...
He said seen. So we're not talking about Fallout, right?
No. Agree fully with your take.
Help us out. We don't know what we're talking about.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Cinegraphic, you don't remember Kirk playing possum on Khan with his infamous death screen? Do you know when I was a kid how many viewings of that movie I had to have before I realized that's what he was doing? And I think that's true of a lot of adults, too. Because I think when a lot of people make fun of Shatner's performance of that, and it is funny, don't get me wrong, I think part of what makes that funnier for people is not realizing that Kirk is not serious in that scene. Like, it's a bluff. When he screams Khan, he's not upset. Because he has a plan. He has a way out. He does that on purpose. Are you like, do you remember that? Do you remember this about Wrath of Khan, Jason? That when he screams Khan, he's not serious?
Okay.
Don't you remember the Kobayashi Maru?
Yes.
Well, you said you didn't remember anything.
I remember, like
don't you remember Aren't You Dead? Anyway, I'm sorry.
Oh, Watchmen.
Yeah. Versions of Watchmen.
Versions of Watchmen. I have seen the movie, and I have read the comic. I read the comic first, and then I saw the 2009 movie.
Yep.
And that's it. I haven't read anything else. I haven't watched the TV show. I haven't seen the new animated thing. But yeah.
I don't know if I'd show you the TV show. I don't think you'd like it.
I don't think I'd like it.
I'm a little off on an island with that. Robert says this is bad parenting.
Yeah, how about you just show me the movie?
Was this him? Cap Jason, he has no idea what you're talking about. He's already forgot. I've shown him that movie lots of times.
I know, and I forget it every time.
It's not my fault that he doesn't know what happens.
I forget it the next day. Like...
Dude, if this had happened earlier in the stream, I would have said, let's watch it right now. Let's do a commentary on it and see what you remember as we go. That'd be great, actually.
Oh, which cut of Watchmen did I see? I just saw the...
Oh, is that what he meant? What version of the... we didn't... I want to say we showed you...
Because I actually don't remember.
The director's cut and not the ultimate cut.
I think so.
The ultimate cut has all the Black Freighter stuff put in it. And
yeah, I don't think
we didn't show you that because we didn't know if you'd get bored and get through the whole thing.
Yeah.
Well, this is a couple 3 years ago now.
It was last year.
Was it last year?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's back when I had long hair.
Do you remember? The Space the Final Frontier speech at the end of Wrath of Khan?
Yeah.
Do you remember who gives it?
Kirk.
No.
Scotty?
No, Spock gives it.
Oh, Spock gives it.
Yeah. So he dies. And then they send the torpedo to the Genesis planet. And then they cut to space, and you hear Leonard Nimoy in a very deep, grovelly space.
Oh, I actually don't remember that.
The final Unicron.
Unicron. Okay. Well, we're on Star Trek Cinematographic.
Yeah.
Cappy and Jason, could you have gotten from All Good Things to Star Trek First Contact without Star Trek Generations?
Let me noodle it for a second. So what he's saying is, could First Contact have been the first TNG film? Or like the only TNG film? You obviously, you have to restructure some things, but they could have conceptualized it that way, certainly. So if and I always overthink this stuff, if the question is, could you just skip Generations and pretend like that didn't happen? No, because why do we have a new ship?
Yeah.
That'd be really the only problem with it, though. It's kind of too bad that didn't happen, just because it's more of a flat out, straight up TNG movie. Like Next Generation created the Borg. That's the big villain everybody thinks about when they think of TNG. And its new uniforms and its new sets, so it looks like a movie.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? In a way Generations doesn't as much. You don't have, like, you know, two weird uniforms clashing and...
Oh my gosh,
all
what was that?
And, like, relighting TV sets to try to look more cinematic for no reason.
Even TV lighting.
Even TV lighting. Even TV... And it doesn't have the stupid space photo album. But... again, the only problem is, well, we blew up the D, so the only thing you could have done with First Contact with that, if you wanted a new ship, is, and you probably wouldn't do that, right? You probably just still would have had the D, but it'd be better not to, because, again, that's made for a TV show.
Mm-hmm.
The E is more cinematic. It's made to be in a movie.
Yes.
But you could have done the silly motion picture thing and said that D got a refit.
Uh-huh.
Like,
yeah.
You could do that. It's the Enterprise
No.
D refit.
But
and
can we not stare at it for 10 minutes, please?
The other thing you could have done is what Beyond did and
Yeah.
blow up the ship in the first 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And that could have been cool.
Yeah. Now, you know what does look like a more cinematic ship? The NX-01.
Yeah, sure.
Like, that doesn't feel like a TV ship.
No.
To me.
You think even the interiors?
Yeah.
Some of that is just because that show is so dark.
Right.
Well, and are you aware that despite the fact that that show had ratings issues, and I mean they all did at some point or another, there was serious talk about an Enterprise movie.
Yeah.
There's also serious talk about a DS9 movie.
That would.
It's really sad that never happened. And it could have even after the show was done.
Yeah. Would they do time travel stuff in the Enterprise movie? Would that be probably what they do?
I would hope not. No, the obvious thing to do for an Enterprise movie would be Romulan War.
Sure. Sure.
Pardon me. Good.
Okay. Austin.
We're at an hour and a half. How much longer do we want to go here?
You want to go another half an hour, or you want to go 15
I'm willing
minutes?
if you are. I didn't think we were going to broadcast that long tonight, but sure. Appreciate you guys. This has been super fun.
Austin asks, which is your favorite child?
I plead the fifth. You can't actually. He's trolling me when he says that.
It's me though, right?
No. Because I don't have a favorite child. Because you can't have a favorite child. No, and I think there are parents that feel like they have to lie about that probably actually secretly do. And there's a lot of, there's a lot of argument about this. Like people have different opinions about this, but everybody thinks they're right. So there's people that go, well, no, of course you have a favorite child, but you're never going to actually say that you do. And then you have other people that say, like, you're not allowed to think that way, and you just can't have a favorite child. I think, like with anything, everything's got pros and cons, and there's going to be things that you appreciate more about different of your kids, of course. I've got 6 kids, and obviously the last one is not even 1 yet. So who knows even what her personality is going to be like. But, like, legitimately, I don't have that thing where I've bonded so much more with one kid over another that I have to be really, really careful not to look like I'm playing favorites. You know what I mean? And I also think that it's true that a lot of parents don't love one kid over another, where they love all their children equally, but they have bonded more with one over some of the others, or over the other if they only have a couple. I think that can be a natural thing that happens. I don't think that's evil. I don't think that's wrong. I think you do have to compensate a little bit when that happens, and I think it also is easy to bond most with the oldest child, because the oldest child.
The thing is, the thing with the oldest child is, you've kind of, like, I feel like you can get along with me better because you showed me a lot of the things that you like early on that you just forgot about.
Yeah.
With the other siblings, where it's like,
that's such an easy mistake to make,
do you want
right?
to do that 5 more times?
5 more times, yeah. Well, and the thing is, you forget that you haven't shown the other kids certain things because you had that experience not too far back in your own head. And especially if you have kids in any kind of rapid succession, you'll just forget, oh yeah, they weren't there for that.
Yeah.
And that was 5 years ago, but for them, that was a lifetime ago.
Right. Well, and it's like...
No, you're right. That's
easy
to do.
And when you're a kid, it's like, you need to watch a movie once a year at least, or you're just going to forget that it even exists. There are things that I know that you have shown me.
Wrath of Khan, apparently you need to watch on a weekly basis. So we can just really get it through your head what happens in that movie.
Well, last time I fell asleep.
Wow. It's even made you forget how to speak the English language.
Last time I fell asleep.
You don't remember? We can't fire. Why can't you?
Why can't you? There are a couple things that I know you've shown me, but like 6 years ago, and I just don't remember what even happened.
Sure. But anyway,
yes.
But just back to this topic real quick, even though it was a facetious topic, and we'll move on and look at something else. Do we have more questions?
Oh, we do.
You said we have more stuff, right? Obviously, you also relate to your children at different ages differently. So right now, I'm able to relate to Jason on a much more mature and sophisticated level than I can his siblings, because he's 14 and pretty mature for his age and is able to converse on a level that has allowed me to hire him officially to be on the channel. So, I mean, you and I relate to each other on a very different level, in a very different way than I do your siblings. That doesn't mean I enjoy spending time with them less, or they're less fun to be around, or whatever. In fact, I'll say this, Jason, it is actually a lot easier for me to relate to all of the younger kids now with you being so much closer to adulthood, because I'm the stay-at-home parent, and I used to only have interactions with children all day long, and I didn't have any intellectual stimulation with conversation with adults all day, and that could be kind of maddening sometimes. And you didn't always have time to go out later, or find adults to talk to. Didn't get enough time with to spend with your mom to get that intellectual stimulation. And now you're old enough, I'm getting more of that during the day. I'm able to talk to you, and you understand much of what I'm talking about. Yes. And you can talk to me on a pretty adult level, and you're, not to, give you too many grand compliments.
Although I don't know what that Thanksgiving thing is.
Cornucopia?
The cornucopia.
But what I was going to say is, you're pretty quick on your feet, and you can run with me, and you're clever, and you can kind of challenge me a little bit. So, because I have that now, it's easier to relate to all the other kids.
Sure.
Is what I'm saying.
Sure.
So there's that.
Yeah.
And then just at different stages, some kids will be easier to deal with and to talk to and to find any common ground with than others. So like right now, my twins, your twin sisters, they're 3. They're both really fun, and I obviously enjoy playing with them and spending time with them in different ways, because even though they're twins, they're very, very different, like polar opposites, those kids. But Selena is mentally so far maturing faster than Cassandra is. And I'm sure at some point they'll kind of level off together. But right now, Cassandra is just off in her own little world. She is an absolute la la land, and it's hard to get through to her. Like, she doesn't know what you're talking about half the time, and is not remotely paying attention to you when you're telling her, like, you're gonna get hurt if you go jump on that thing. And her response is, I have a giant dog. You know, that's what she does. And then Selena, by contrast, wants to clean up the whole house and make sure everything is running perfectly. And she's 3 and she thinks she's 30, and it's adorable.
Yes.
And she's also the huggier one right now. Where, like, she's constantly running up to me and wants big hugs and stuff, wants to give Dad a kiss or whatever. And so, and Cassandra's not standoffish, but she doesn't do as much of that. So right now, Selena's the one that's a little bit easier to relate to.
Well, the Selena is afraid of the baby, which is
hilarious. Well, and obviously she has her moments, and they'll both freak out over nothing sometimes. But what I was going to say is, obviously they're both adorable and fun and wonderful. Selena is the easier one of the two to deal with right now. But like, it doesn't mean I like her more.
Yeah.
You know, hour to hour, maybe I like her a little more sometime. You know what I mean?
Yes.
But like overall, no. And like, I try to make sure to, like, take each of them out sometimes, like, and have one-on-one time with them, where it's not all just, you know, Dad and the twins.
Right.
So it'll be like, I'm gonna take Selena to the mall, and the next time I'll take Cassandra to the mall. You know.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah.
What else are people suggesting? Austin, to be fair, when you ask me things, I always answer with, Clifford is a giant red dog.
Nicholas Bodo, what Batman stories make you feel thankful to be such a fan of the character?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it is screen stuff originally, because I come to it more that way, even though I was collecting comics real early. So, comic-wise, it's the usual suspects, right? It's Year One, it's No Man's Land,
I still never read Year One.
It's Nightfall. It should be Dark Knight Returns, but I have the same thing you do with Wrath of Khan with Dark Knight Returns.
Do you remember old Alfred?
Remember how he just dies off screen? Or is he even still alive at the end of that? See, I've already forgotten Dark Knight Returns. Austin, this happens to me every time. Anyway, but then it's a lot of like animated series episodes. It's like the Clock King episode, and Perchance to Dream, and Laughing Fish, and The Man Who Shot Batman, or The Man Who Killed Batman. Is it killed? Yeah, they killed Batman, etc., etc.
Deadpool kills the Batman.
The Batman universe. Dan Schneider died of a heart attack at the end. That's what I thought. Yeah, I second guessed myself because I always forget what happens in Dark Knight Returns. Did you watch that movie with me?
I have not seen that movie.
You were going to, and I think you just didn't have time that week. Okay. Because you remember, I was going to have you sit down and do that with me.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think I finished that book. I think maybe I'm only halfway through it.
Austin, you don't remember Dark Knight Returns when Spock dies?
CG anime fan. Aside from Smallville, which show do you feel the most thankful for?
Say again, besides Smallville?
Yes, what show do you feel the most thankful for?
What show? And besides Star Trek stuff, because we've been talking so much about Star Trek. Like,
sure.
You know, Next Generation would be my honest to God answer.
Or Deep Space Nine.
It'd be TNG over DS9. Yes. DS9 is objectively the best written Star Trek show.
Now, I will say, I don't know if I'm thankful for Lost.
I would be if I were you, because I think that was really formative for you. Like, as unhappy as you were with the last season and the ending, like most people, I think that show has a lot to do with your developing critical thinking skills.
Sure.
And just appreciating more grown-up entertainment in general. I think that was a major transition, kind of bridging thing for you.
Yeah. You want some peanuts?
Does it look like I speak Korean?
Can I please have some peanuts? Let's watch some Lost.
Yeah, let's do that. Anyway, other TV shows.
X-Men
Oh, sure.
anime show.
I didn't realize there was an actual reason you were doing that.
Yeah, I was trying to think of the name of the show.
Hilariously, I have to say Power Rangers. Again, it's
Yes.
been like that was a huge part of my childhood. Like a lot of people, of course, obviously, and as silly and ridiculous and kind of amorphous as those stories were. I should say amorphous. Is just kind of daft and same thing every time. Formulaic as those are. It still kind of ignited my imagination. Kind of like Ninja Turtles.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's been this huge bonding thing for me and my kids.
Yeah.
So that was
and then
way up
also, hilariously, Green Lantern the animated series.
there.
Okay. Is a big one for me.
Well, Batman TAS is one of my
Yes.
huge ones too.
But like Green Lantern the animated series is kind of the Batman TAS for me. Even though like
Wow.
I did watch that show first, and I had seen a lot of that show before I watched Green Lantern. That's the thing that kind of got me into comics, like wanting to read more stuff, just because I was like, oh, superheroes can be this fun, like that's such a good show.
Well, that for a kid is pretty challenging too, because like that's a pretty arcy show.
Yeah.
And
it
doesn't
really
do
got
exactly
me into
what
sci-fi.
you predict. It's
Yeah.
got some good, honest to God stories.
Yeah.
And then for later stuff, Breaking Bad is way up there. For me, let's do one or two more, Jason.
Okay.
Oh, pros and cons guy, $2 super chat. Any new news on the state of Power Rangers? No, it's still dead in the water. Which we've talked about a lot lately, so I'm not gonna rehash anything. But yeah, it just looks like Hasbro has no interest in it right now.
Doesn't care.
And if they actually tried to shop it around the way they claimed they did, other places outside of Netflix were not biting. So we'll see what eventually happens with it, if anything. I predict at some point Hasbro sells it.
Mm-hmm.
I predict they either sell it or they incorporate it in a shared universe and with everything else they have, which will make me sad.
Mm-hmm.
And it won't be about Power Rangers. It'll be about the whole thing. Like Transformers will be at the top of the pile, and then Power Rangers will just be one other thing in the middle of everything else they do. But they don't seem to know what to do with it, so
Yeah.
I don't know if they'll hang on to it.
Yeah.
I also don't know if Hasbro has a history of selling off things. So maybe that's a
Yeah.
bad prediction. I don't know. Anyway.
So that's Austin. Austin.
What?
Let's ask Austin.
What? Just because he can predict? He doesn't know anything about Power Rangers. Go ahead.
Okay. Speaking of Austin, he has another question.
Oh, God.
No,
Is it a trolling
No,
question?
it's not a trolling question. What is the experience both of you have had from the channel that you're most thankful for?
Oh, wow. Thanks, man. That's actually a really nice question.
John Kelly.
He made up for the favorite child question.
John Kelly the Hedgehog. Why is that your name? Mr. Potato Head Cinematic Universe next, please.
Well, that's his name because, as we all know, it's fun to write your own name with the hedgehog in and see what the fan art is, because inevitably there's always fan art with...
Is there?
Oh, that's a whole thing. If you Google your first name, the hedgehog, we did a stream about it. We did a segment on it with the Captain Logan show years ago, I think.
I think I kind of remember that. Oh my gosh, that's so
you'll
funny.
write your name in, and then you'll see a hedgehog. I'm not gonna do it right now. We did that.
We'll do it at the end.
We did that.
No.
What is your answer for this?
The experience I've had on the channel.
Is it Tiny Adam West? Is it Spawn Year?
Well, the problem is, I mean, probably. I mean, it's definitely up there. The problem is I don't remember as much of it. But definitely starting Geek Evolution, the Next Generation. That's a big one.
Yeah.
Power Morphicon.
Sure.
This might be weird on the list with all these other big things that kind of like shape my childhood, but I actually really enjoyed Jason Wants to Talk About.
Oh yeah.
That was the funniest thing ever. Where I
mean, we can come back and do more of those.
What we even wanted to stream, I couldn't think of a single thing, and so you just typed in Jason Wants to Talk About Superman. I'm like, sure.
And then it turned into a series for a while.
Yeah.
We did a few of those. In fact, we were gonna just occasionally keep bringing those in, and then we ended up having you as the main co-host for this. I think it's the only reason we haven't done any more of those. But
yeah.
Okay, stop it with the favorite child question. Jason, mine. I mean, I've done this for 15 years. It's been, apart from raising you guys and keeping house, it's been, you know, my job. So it's really hard to narrow it down to one thing. There's so many different things I can put here.
I will probably say the movie after the movie's done.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Is that's gonna be way up there now?
It's gonna be way up there, yes.
You know, even if everybody hates it, and I don't think they will, I think I will still feel that way about it. Obviously, Spawnier on the whole, but one of the big ones is getting that finale put together, and particularly, I mean, this is such a personal question that a lot of the answers that come to my brain will be things that aren't a big deal for anybody but me. Stuff like getting the file, and I wasn't expecting it yet, just kind of out of the blue when I did, from Tim Lyons with the Making Spawnier song.
Oh yeah.
And listening to that in my car for the first time. That was a big deal.
Yeah.
Tim Lyons, rest in peace, of course. And then, the documentary is a big one. You know, some of these bigger side projects. And then as far as stuff on the channel, jumping out of the airplane was a big one. The 10,000 subscribers.
That's probably
video.
one for me too, because I was there.
Yeah, you were there. I mean, you didn't jump out of the plane, but you were there on the ground.
But I was there on the ground, and I remember that.
Do you really? Because you're pretty young.
I remember that, yeah. And that was the other Superhero Rewind song that plays during there.
Yes.
And then yeah. And then obviously, I mean, this isn't an experience that I remember, but obviously, Jason Bane.
Oh, sure.
Although I actually do remember the favorite things.
You actually remember doing
video. That? Yes, I do remember.
Johnny Cash.
And then I just start singing like a verse and a chorus from Hero.
These are videos
from Nickelback
that we made with Jason when he was a toddler.
And I kind of remember. Yeah, I think I kind of remember Jason knows not superheroes, but Roman numerals. That video, I kind of remember that.
Also, some of the early interviews that I did, Wally Wingert,
yeah,
is a big one, and Norm Brayfogle.
Yep.
And
what about Rorschach loses his hat?
Yeah, no, that's not really in there. That was ridiculous.
That's my favorite thing with the channel.
But yeah, I mean, we could reminisce about old channel stuff all day long. But
yeah.
Austin just said, "Whoa!" I'm not sure what about.
Whoa!
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 Extreme close-up.
We're gonna have to actually make that commentary at some point.
Should, yeah.
All right, what else? Are there any other good ones?
Yes. The Nick Rules. What were some of the best superhero movies this year, your opinion? I liked Deadpool and Wolverine, but didn't think it was perfect, but not much competition.
No, there's not. I mean, that's the best one. There's not much else to look at.
Yeah.
Really. I mean, what else did we have? Just crappy Sony things.
Yeah, I mean, I guess
and the Crow remake.
I guess the second best thing that I saw that was superhero was Madam Web. So,
Oh, that's unfortunate.
because I like Madam Web better than Venom 3. Fight me.
Yeah, I mean, the best stuff I saw this year, and I didn't see a ton, was not superhero, of course.
Yes.
Although Austin would
Super
say
Slash Man.
Yeah, but I mean that's a documentary. Austin would say this does count, but Transformers 1 is hands down the best movie I saw this year.
Yeah. It's pretty good.
Oh, Jason finally saw it.
I don't know if it's not better than Deadpool and Wolverine in my opinion, but
Oh wow, Gareth Gearhart says that he got to meet Wally Winger and he mentioned my interview.
oh,
Did he remember it? Did he remember me? I'd love to know that. Austin, we got to do a GNN. We should just do a GNN in general. It's been a while. After Craven, about if this is the worst year yet for the superhero genre. Yeah, I would have to go back and look at some years, Austin, and remind myself which years had some of the worst, because we talked about that a lot when we did the history video, and I remember I don't know, was it 13 that was a real bad year?
I know there was one year that
There was one year was just stacked up.
That's
it was
terrible.
nothing but bad movies practically. Yeah.
Yeah. AMC, I just missed that darn timer from early GNNs. That was the those
challenge
were
accepted.
great.
Let's bring it back.
Let's
yeah.
bring it back.
Austin, let's do the timer. And we'll never be able to stick to it either. No, we can't do that because we stream now.
Yeah.
Like if you do the timer, it would have to be like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
All right, you have the floor. You have the
should
floor
do a bunch
for 20
of
minutes.
mini GNNs. You should do like, okay, this GNN topic is down here on the screen, and we're gonna talk about it for 10 minutes, and then we're gonna go to another one.
I
And
worry
you do a
that you'd run out of ideas.
GNN
really quickly.
omnibus, but it's like every like 3 months.
Oh,
It's like
okay. So you don't do them that much, but when you do them, it's a bunch of topics.
It's a bunch of topics.
That's a cool idea.
And
Yeah, I'm not
then
against
you
that.
can also do like an extended GNN that it's one topic, but you just have a big conversation about it.
That's a neat idea.
But
I'm not
that's
against
a way
it.
to bring back the timer.
If anybody has any really cool ideas for GNNs, let me know and we'll make a list. Because Austin and I have been talking about bringing that back occasionally. Not necessarily as a regular thing, just because we've got so many other kind of little series we're in the middle of. Like we've got to finish the top 100 favorite superheroes movie list, which is taking us forever. We're really taking our time with it, but we're having fun, and thanks a lot for watching that if you guys have been doing that. And we want to do more of that kind of thing with lists that Austin and I make, and then have you guys compile a community list of the same thing. Twagger's Lover, $2 super chat, thanks. You need to do more GNNs with Austin in general. Yeah, I agree.
Yes.
We definitely do.
GNNs are awesome.
I think part of the thing is I do feel a little bit burned out on topics, Jason. Like, every now and again I'll think of one and I won't write it down, and then I'll go, we should have done that. But we did so many of them that, you know, like you can go back and kind of revisit things because the culture has changed so much that sometimes it's worth going back to an old idea. But very rarely do I have like a brilliant flash of a thing we've never talked about. It's almost always a follow-up or a tangentially related thing. Oh, that's all right, Jareth. I was just curious. No, Robert, we're not going to do a monthly How Does Cap Remember Dark Knight Rises or Dark Knight Return segment. Although if we did that, we could also do the same thing with Jason and Wrath of Khan.
Yeah, he asked that before.
Oh, okay. All right. Did we hit all the super chats?
We did hit all the super chats.
Okay.
We got a very nice comment.
Okay.
Though from John Kelly and the Hedgehog.
I saw that.
He
But
says,
yeah, feel free to read it.
Yeah, he says, you know what, I am thankful for this channel. It's refreshingly relaxed, objectively never controversial, and just a good watch or listen to at any time. Thanks to Cap and company for doing this.
Oh, I appreciate that, man. Yeah, it felt a little bit indulgent. I wasn't sure if I was going to read that. but
Yeah.
I appreciate that. No,
I feel like if I read it, it would be better. But...
No, that was a really nice comment. I appreciate that. We try to keep it as fun and light as we can, but relatively thoughtful and engaging. We've done it forever, and I really appreciate you guys for sticking around with us. I'm starting to fade a little bit. It's getting late. Chewbacca's Lover, I want you to talk about the line between being influenced by something and ripping something off. That's not a bad idea. Maybe write that down, Jason. I do think we actually did a video on that once a million years ago, but that would be worth coming back to. Chewbacca's Lover, never controversial. Yeah, I was going to say, that's probably not accurate. We don't go out of our way to, pick, like, political fights and that kind of thing. But, like, people are not going to agree with everything I have to say. And I certainly don't always run with the general consensus with stuff.
Yes.
And obviously there's different kinds of controversial, You can be controversial in that just in the geeky sphere you don't agree that this thing everybody says is brilliant, or that this thing that everybody says is the worst thing ever is the worst thing ever. And then you'd also be controversial in a more political or, social kind of way.
Oh, by the way,
Robert, bring back the gong. We've been using it, but I haven't been using it tonight, and I don't know why. I guess, like...
So you have 8 super chats that we've gotten today?
That's a lot of gonging. Yeah, no, thanks a lot for the support tonight, guys. Like I said earlier, but Jason, I think I had it in my head just because this is sort of a special thing, and later at night, I guess I just sort of forgot it was a Captain Logan show. Like, yeah, I always gong with a Captain Logan show, but I don't with other shows. Mm-hmm. And so I wasn't, anyway, so yeah. There's a couple of big gongs. I'm gonna wake up the whole house.
Speaking of gongs, this year, I'm in the, every year, I'm a dancer, and I'm in the, we do a Cajun nutcracker, so it's like nutcracker from Louisiana, and this year I'm the nutcracker. And
that's so cool.
I get to fight my teacher in a alligator costume. It's awesome. And I have fencing expertise, so that's awesome. Expertise.
Wait, do you really? Did you take fencing?
For a summer, yeah.
Oh, okay. Now he's an expert.
Yes.
Took it for a whole summer. Now you're an expert.
I know how to fence.
You can at least beat Guinan.
Yes.
I bet you could beat Guinan.
Yes. But I got my ballet instructor to buy a gong for the Nutcracker so that I can gong it with my sword. So she bought this huge gong off of Amazon, and she's gonna like have me wheel it on because there's a big gong in the music, and so I'm just gonna gong it.
That's so good. I wanted to buy a giant one when we decided to do a gong for the show, but
yeah,
it was a lot out of my price range.
But yes, it's the
how much did she spend
Alligator
on that?
King is like $100.
Oh, but I would have bought it if it was just $100. I didn't see one that big for that price, or I would have bought them.
Yeah, no, it's $100. It's only $100. But yes, it is the Alligator King and not the Rat King because it's from Louisiana.
And not Ninja Turtles.
Cajun. Yes. Right.
Jareth, I appreciate that, man. Is Nutcracker the bad guy? No.
No. I get to carry around the main girl and spin around.
And yes, Andrew, I did hear about the announcement for the 3-part Nightfall animated movie, which I would love to get excited about. I'm glad it's in 3 parts. I mean, that's cool.
Yeah. I just wish Watchmen was.
Yeah, Watchmen. Well, but Nightfall is, kind of split that way anyway.
Yeah.
So like, it is nice that they're doing it that way. Yeah. Will it be like, Nightfall, Night's Quest, and Night's End? Surely that's how they'll do it. But I mean, we got Death of Superman and Reign of the Superman, and that should have been great, and it wasn't. And their track record lately has not been great. But we also don't know if this is the same team that's been making the direct-to-video animated movies lately, because the talk recently has been guns seem to be shutting them down, and then this got announced. So we don't know if this is like part of what Gun's doing and like a animated Elseworlds thing, like made by a different production. Because if it is, it might be great.
Mm-hmm.
Like we just don't know. So I don't have enough to go on to be excited about it one way or the other.
Yeah.
But it's a thing I've wanted for a long time. I just hope the production's good. Obviously. Oh my God, no, John Kelly. I would love a Gone collection, but I don't think I have the space for that. Yeah. Busted Sim. That's a cool question. We'll go ahead and finish up here in a second. Are there any channel things that Sarah has put her foot down on and vetoed? I can't think of one.
Her being in more videos?
Yeah, that's about the only thing. You're right. That's about it. I do miss doing a series with Sarah, and she does not love being on camera. Mm-hmm. And eventually, especially just having more kids and not having as much time to like be up and do videos with everything else she had going on, it was kind of easier for her to step out. Like, we had a good time doing the Star Trek show, but she was never super comfortable being on camera, and I think less so than I realized. Like, I never forced her into it or anything, and I think early on she just didn't know how she felt about the camera, so she was willing to try it, and we did it for a long time, and it was a subject she knew pretty well, so she enjoyed it enough to do it. But I think once we'd done a lot of those, it got to a point where if she didn't have to, with everything else going on, with the kids and stuff, it was like, this is now a chore. And I don't love being on camera anyway. So, obviously she's occasionally come back for something. But, like we did the Picard review a while back and things like that. But,
Robert Wild, is Sarah the one who keeps vetoing Cap swimming on camera?
No. But no, she's always been super encouraging to me about all the stuff I want to do. Honestly, to the point that she's a lot of the reason I'm still at it, really. Because there have been a number of times where just with life stuff getting in the way, and again, having a lot of kids to take care of and stuff. There have been times where I've said, okay, are you sure I ought to keep at this? Because I really need to focus on the kids. And obviously I put that first, but she's always encouraged me to keep going and to have, my own interests and ambitions. And I think it's important to her that I'm, personally fulfilled, and that it's not just the daily mundanity. Not that the kids are mundane, but just the same thing every day of taking care of the kids and cleaning the house. And you get up and you do that. She knows I'm a very creative person. She also knows I'm a very social person, and it's hard to like get out and have a regular social life in the with the kind of lifestyle I have. So this also scratches that itch a lot too. And I think there have been times, I don't mean to be rambly about this, I think there have been times where she's appreciated what this does for me a lot more than I have. I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. Makura, before we possibly leave.
I only asked because I feel like Gone collection would probably be a line too far. You think your mom would stop me from having a Gone collection?
No.
I don't. I think she'd be all right with it.
It should be downstairs.
What is your husband doing? Don't mind him. He's playing
with his
Gone
collection. Yes. Makura, before we possibly leave, how is Oracle the cat doing? Is she safe? Is she all right?
Yes, Oracle's just fine. She's probably running around upstairs right now.
Yeah, she'll probably sleep with me tonight.
Yeah, she's usually in your room.
Yeah.
She's great. She always wants attention.
Yeah. She doesn't actually come down here that often anymore.
She does if I leave the door open.
Mm.
She doesn't like scratch at it trying to get down like she was a couple months ago. But I think she's coming down a little bit less because it's getting colder.
Mm-hmm.
So she doesn't love that as much. But in the summer, she really likes being down here.
Austin, what are your favorite gongs on film?
There's that one of the Mortal Kombat movie that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that one's pretty cool.
That one's up there.
Yeah, the Temple of Doom. Yeah, I don't even know.
Okay, it's getting late. We better get going.
Yes.
Makira's very relieved to hear the cat is okay.
Cat.
Is that what he's talking about?
Yes.
We're gonna get going, and we got Thanksgiving tomorrow. We'll be back next week for more or less a regular week. I think is the plan right now. Jason and I have to catch up on Penguin. We're hoping to do a review of that sometime before Christmas. And I'm not going to rush that, even though it's been over for a couple of weeks, because we're, again, a few episodes behind. We haven't watched, the last 3?
Yeah, it's the last 3.
And I kind of want to go back and rewatch the first few again, at least, because it's been a while, if possible. And we'll have at least Austin on that show. I'll invite Robert and anybody else that wants to come on, John.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if John's watching it, but I think so.
Yeah, I like it.
And then beyond that, I don't know what else is going to happen this year. I'm wanting to do a review for the 89 Batman sequel novel, Batman Resurrection, and I haven't been able to finish it yet. So I don't know if that's going to happen this year, but I will review that hopefully at least early next year. But everybody bear with us. We've got so much going on with this movie and stuff. And we got to get that finished shot so you guys can and get it edited so you guys can see it. So I'm going to be working on editing over the next few days too. Hopefully I can get at least a few more, I don't know, 3 or 4 more scenes in is my hope. At least a couple of more scenes in. I should be careful with that. I don't know if I'll get that far.
John
a lot of special effects and things.
John Cullen says, "Happy Geeksgiving, chat."
Yeah, you guys too. I'm glad that we got at least some of these "What are you thankful for?" questions done.
Yeah.
Since that was the whole premise, and it was like an hour before we did any.
Yeah. And Robert Wild says, "Gong on, guys."
All right, we gotta go.
You're not gonna forget the gong now.
No, I'm not. I accidentally gonged my water bottle. Anyway, thanks for being here, everybody. It was a lot of fun, and I'm glad we did this.
Yeah.
We'll see you guys again next week. Bye, everybody.